everyone. So in this video, what we're gonna do to the truck is have a look at that Uppipe on the passenger side. Now, I was getting an exhaust leak, not really any power loss, but just it's pretty much from this set of manifolds it goes up to your turbo, and I'll show you guys a picture here. All right, so here's your Uppipe, and the way this works is where it Y's off there, that little accordion steel thing, that's where it goes to your EGR cooler. Now I do have it bolted down, but after a while it managed to vibrate and actually create a crack in that accordion part, and that's where it's leaking from. All right, back to the truck here. I'm not going to do it today for when I haven't had the truck plugged in. She hasn't been running in over a week, so the sled too, I got to wash everything and then let it dry, bring it into the shop at work and start tearing into that Uppipe. So yeah, in the next clip here I'll be running it. It won't be today, but we'll get it done. Okay, we just got the truck running here. We're gonna, hopefully it kicks into high idle. Should be cold enough, and then I'll show you guys that boost leak. I'll just stand over here because it's too loud, but you can see in that clip where against the firewall was getting damaged, and you could hear it in the video, I'm sure, where that boost leak is, just behind that cap plate. Okay guys, so we're at the shop. I do apologize, the disassembly side of things, the video got deleted, so I'm just going to explain quick where I'm at. So first off, when you go to pull your Uppipe, which is this piece, out, first thing you're going to want to do is remove the heat shield that sits right on top of the turbo there. You can see where it mounted. But so you pop that off, and that heat shield, you're going to have to mangle it to get it out. It's I'm not going to put it back on. Shouldn't affect anything. I'm just going to make sure no wires or anything is down there going to burn. So yeah, you want to get that out of there first, and then next step, on your downpipe there is a heat shield that sits on it. This guy, that guy's got to come out through the top, believe it or not. So when you get that off, you're going to want to pull it up right through this area and out the heat shield. Once you have the heat shield out, believe it or not, your transmission dipstick tube has to come off as well. So there's this two nuts here and here on this bracket, and the bracket goes to your transmission dipstick tube, this guy right here. So that way you can move it back and out of the way. So once you have that out of the way, you can undo this band clamp and the one up at the turbo. I don't know if you can see it. There's the flange anyways. Yeah, there's the flange for the turbo. So undo that clamp, this bottom one, downpipe comes out this way. You might have to move this guy around a bit. You should have some movement. Once that's out, then the really fun part starts. Getting these bolts off. I soaked them, but I still broke one. Now, the whole reason I'm doing this job is this, sorry, was cracked. So you could see where the old crack was. All along there. I just spread it open to see. But yeah, this is where the EGR cooler went. There's the block off plate. So what I did is I just simply zipped it off right at the bottom of that accordion looking crap, and I cut out a plate the same size. Well, actually it was a hair smaller, and then I just welded all around. Then that's ready to go. This is done. Make sure it's all clean in there after cutting. Yeah, so the bolt that broke, the biggest trouble, these are 12 point, was right here, luckily for me, on the manifold. And that took about 3 hours to get that out, just being the space I have and where it was. But I ended up drilling it. So yeah, this is what was left of the bolt to extract it. Basically, just keep drilling until there's nothing left, and throw an extractor in there and hope it comes out. I heated it up a few times too. There's a lot of tricks for removing broken bolts. This one was very tricky due to the space I had. But I got her. The next step would have been to pull the manifold off, get it on a bench, and properly extract that. So now that you have your Uppipe welded up, you got it out of there, it's all clean, it's nice, you got your gaskets. You don't have to, but I'm replacing all the bolts. These are new ones. These are only 6 point. And the nice thing about the new gaskets as well is they have little locking tabs, so they'll stay in place like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna get them started by hand, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the bottom one, get them started by hand, and then we'll torque them up. Okay, so I got the pipe in here, and a little trick I just want to show you guys is for these top bolts, way up there. But what I find works good is you take your socket and a little extension and go ahead and, just for threading them in, hand tight. So yeah, just to give you guys an idea, because it's kind of hard to get in there in a spot like this with your hand and do them up. So if you take your extension and your socket and you just do them up like that. Yeah, so the main reason I'm using a ratchet just to snug them up is because if you put them in hand tight and then you go straight to torquing, you're going to be moving that big torque wrench quite a bit, just because you have to pull it in to squish the gasket, right? So just to give you an idea where that top one sits, that's actually the bottom flange up top. So it's not the coolest spot, I'll give you that. Okay, GM calls for 39 foot-pounds. I'm just gonna go to 40. Now this top one though, the one that broke and I had to drill out, I'm gonna start with like 30 and then go up from there, see how it feels, just because those threads might be a little bit damaged, right? So I don't want to go straight in torque and then completely strip out the manifold hole. Then I'll be having to pull the manifold and put a Healy coil in and such. So let's go ahead and start with this one. Right there. See, I went a little over, but 39.8. So yeah, you go ahead and go to all your bolts and do that. If you really want, you can even mark them so you know which ones you did, but it's kind of hard to miss a bolt when you're only doing 6. Right there. 40. So yeah, this top one, let's go ahead and take it down. I'll start with 30. I'll see. I'm gonna go really slow. We're gonna see how it feels, because if I strip that out, I'm gonna be a pretty unhappy camper. See, I already went 30 with the ratchet. It didn't feel like it, so now I'll go a little more. 35. Just kind of work our way up. Yeah, move the hair. I'm gonna go 40. I know you don't need a fancy digital one to do this. You can just use any old torque wrench. A flex head, highly recommended. Ratchet too. Yeah, so 40. It took 40, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm gonna need 2 hands to get that top one. I'm pretty sure this will fit in there, but I'll let you know. Okay, so you can torque these 3. And up on the upper flange, you can get the bottom one. The one closest to the outside, but the one on the inside, I ended up having to use a ratchet just because the torque wrench was fairly bulky. But this ratchet, you know, by the time you did the other 5 bolts, you have an idea of how tight it is. So that worked good. I maybe even went a little too tight, but it's fine. So next step is to get that down pipe back in there. So that'll be fun as well. Okay, really quick, when you're putting your down pipe in, it's a bitch. I just put one hand back here. But anyways, up there, I just put one hand on the transmission dipstick thing there. Kind of held it back. I still got to hold it back a bit, but you really got to push to get it in there. So I'll see if I can get it in with the one hand here a bit. Wiggle a bit. Kind of fart around. See, I'm on the wrong side of that bracket here. See, there's one of these ears on the back, and that was just catching on the transmission too. I should have it now. Yeah. There we go. So you kind of get the general area. I'm not too worried about the bottom yet, just because this guy moves a lot. There we go. So you have it generally in place. I left the clamp off right here. That way we can throw it on and not have it catch on anything while it's going in. Look at that. It's for my knees. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw the clamp on there, on that guy. Now GM, on all their LBZs, they put this clamp at the bottom, which is a bitch. But they do that because there's a big heat shield sitting here, right? So we're gonna put the clamp on top. Okay, so as you can see, I got the clamp up top this time. You wanna make sure it's sat all the way around this flange, right here. You wanna make sure it's grabbing and that down pipe is seated in there. Okay, so down at the bottom here, before you tighten up that clamp at the top, you're gonna wanna make sure this is sitting nice and get this guy clamped in. This is just your support. Keep it from moving. Keep your down pipe from moving, shaking around. So it's just a clamp. You're gonna want to take some anti-seize as well on this bolt. Now I also took this bolt to the wire wheel, cleaned it up, because this was very seized coming out. Now she goes nice and easy. So it fought me the whole way out. And they used a extremely long bolt for this, but to be fair, this expands too as well. So yeah, go ahead and thread that in. Okay, now that you got this guy good and tight, we're gonna get this mocked up in place, just like that, and then throw your clamp. All right, clamps on. Take your 11mm ratchet, snug it up. You don't want to go too tight. That's why I'm using the stubby, and plus it moves around nice in these tight areas. Not that this spot's that tight or anything. Yeah, you pull it in, just tell her she wants to stop. It's always a good idea to check these again, because this band stretches as well as this bolt. So it's always a good idea just to double check your clamps if you ever have a leak or something. Now, I know you're looking at all this wet stuff. That's just from all the lubricant I've been spraying in here. So she's gonna get a good wash as well. Your top one, mine's still loose. Make sure your pipe is also still seated all the way. So that little seam here, just make sure the pipe is all the way into the turbo. This clamp will pull it in too. You want to make sure it's seated all the way around as well. Okay, so before we go any further, we're going to start it up and check for leaks. Well, let's hear it. Oh yeah, I got the booster hooked up on high. Let it run for a bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm starting to get some heat there. Get all that shit burned off. Feel anything? It's awesome. Kind of off top. Nothing there. There's that cap I welded on. Don't forget that thing. Just a breather. Well, smoked myself out here, but that's good enough for me. So now I'm gonna rip down some of this random heat shielding that got destroyed by the exhaust leak. Get that out of there. Now we're gonna go ahead and finish tying this up. So transmission dipstick tube, you're gonna go ahead, pull it back down into place. Now there's a couple slotted bolts it sits on. It's not on them. There we go. So it sits on there. Let's see if you guys can see that or not. Yeah, there's one and then the other's right up there. So they just sit on these studs, and then that's hot. And then yeah, you go ahead and throw the nuts. All right, and another thing, I just pulled the wheel off just so I can get a little more room, a little more accessible. So, and then the liner, of course, you want to pull out. So go ahead and throw that in. Okay, once your inner fender's in, don't forget about your mud flap. Just rubber, so it doesn't have to be crazy tight. Snug them in. Your tire, can't forget about that. Dropsies, 140. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's the whole deal on doing that up pipe. It's a real bitch, but once you get that shielding off and get all your up pipe bolts out, it's not that bad. It goes together really smooth with new hardware and clean threads. It sounds really good. When I get the truck home, it's just at work right now, but when I get it home, I'll do some good exhaust clips for you guys. You can listen to her a bit more, because I know I only have the one on there right now, so, but I'll get it done. I'll be back. I've just been really busy. I moved, moving the parents. Everyone's kind of moving right now. Work's been kind of crazy, so, but it's all good. Videos are coming. I'm going to school here soon for my 3rd year apprenticeship, and I'm hoping to get lots of videos done then as well in the winter. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoy. If you want more of this stuff, stay tuned. I think the next video might be me doing PCV, the crankcase vent reroute. So that's next on the list, but I definitely want to get a video me bagging on her a bit. You guys can get a better hear for it. So yeah, stay tuned, guys.